Okay guys, so I'm gonna make this really quickly for you so that you know how to work the pressure washer and how to get started on like an interlocking pressure washing job. Okay, so first things first, right here, this is the gas switch. So when it goes against the tube, that means it's off. When it goes with the tube, that means it's on. So the gas is on. This is already full, but you can double check it. And the gas that's in here is the most premium gas you can find, the 94, 91. Always go to Shell too. I like Shell a lot. And then to check the oil, it's always good to check the oil. It's on this side. There's this little knob right here. You can take it out. I already checked it, but you take it out, you wipe it clean with a rag, and then you put it back in like a car. And then you take it out again, you see where the line fits and like the color of it, right? So for this pressure washer, it's 4-stroke. We don't have to change the oil that much, but it's always good to check. Okay, now I have all the connections set up. So the handle connected back to the pressure washer, and then the hose connected to the hose. It's always really important before you do anything, before turning it on, that you always have the water running. So the water is turned on first and it's turned off last, because the pressure washer uses the water as a way to cool the engine. So we have the water turned on just to test it out. You can see I'll just open it up. You can see the water coming through. That's really important. Okay. Now to turn it on, there's an on switch here. So we have the gas switch on, and then there's an on switch, turn it on. This is the choke. So right now the choke is off because it's all the way in. So when it's cold and you haven't turned it on in a while, you could pull the choke out, but we'll see if we can actually turn it on without the choke. So anyways, I'm gonna just pull the cord here. Probably good if we pull the choke. Let it run for a second. Okay, and so for interlocking, you're either going to use this white 40-degree nozzle. Sometimes you can use yellow as well for the stones. You want to clean from one stone all the way to the other and get each one. Make sure you're going one by one. And it's normal to knock out all the stuff in between because you're going to replace that back with polymeric sand. Another one that I was told to use is this turbo nozzle. So this one apparently kind of spins when you're cleaning it, makes it a little bit easier to do interlocking. So these are the ones that I'm going to be using. And to turn off the pressure washer, if you're just turning it off to refill it with gas, wait 5 minutes and then refill it, or you're using it in another job in like 20 minutes, you can just turn it off with the red switch. But if you're putting it away for like the day, or for a few days or a week especially, the way you'd want to turn it off, instead of pressing off the off switch, you'd actually want to keep it running, cut the gas line, and let it eventually like pop until it like kind of dies. And that is how you kind of get all that excess gas in the engine out, which would be beneficial to like keeping the pressure washer lasting long, right? You don't want to like flood it or anything like that. So that's what I do. And also if you're doing any interlocking, especially interlocking or any other pressure washing, it's always good to have like safety goggles or glasses. These ones are real glasses. These are the safety ones. And then a lot of people do like put like ear protection on as well. It is helpful because it can get really loud, or big headphones over, so you listen to something or podcast, music, whatever. But anyways, that's pressure washing, that's interlocking, that's how you use this pressure washer. But we're gonna go and do this job, so. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention is this exhaust right here. When the engine is on, it's going to be blowing out hot smoke or whatever, hot air, I should say. Don't be like one of my crew members, I won't name him, Mark, and put this against a wood deck, a customer's deck, because it burnt the wood a little bit. We had to sand that shit down. But anyways, yeah, just keep this careful. I melt a lot of buckets and stuff like that, so just make sure you understand like where this is hitting, because it's going to burn or melt something through. So.
Just another thing that I forgot to mention, I did a lot of de-weeding. So I'll show you some photos before we touched the interlocking over here. You can see there's tons of weeds, and I didn't really have my weeding tool. So I usually have this like one little stick that has like kind of like a metal edge to it, and then I'd scrape all the stuff and then pull it out. I didn't have that day, so we just really pulled out most of it by hand, put into a bucket, and then put it into a waste paper bag. But it came out great. You could still see in this clip of me pressure washing with the turbo nozzle that there was still tons of weeds, but we did our best. Like we were de-weeding for at least an hour and a half, so we were just like, all right, we'll just pressure wash, and if there's any extra, we'll pull it again. But it just made sense to do it in this job because I forgot the tool. But that's kind of a part of the process that we do before we pressure wash, is de-weed the the interlocking depending on how much it needs. And that is the finished pressure washing job for this interlocking. In the next video, I'm going to go over resanding this and then another video to do sealing.